Breaking news from Wednesday, the 1st of October, 2025, we have another nutcase asylum seeker. So this time, it's an asylum seeker with terrorist convictions, held in custody as Gardaí fear he poses a risk to public safety. Oh man, you think? You think he poses a risk to public safety? Man allegedly threatened to carry out mass shooting in Dublin and previously threatened to use biological weapons, okay? Absolutely bizarre stuff. This is like now Ireland turning into a movie, turning into like an action movie from 1995 or something. Court hears the man who gave a fake name had psychosis. I think that's a cop-out. I think the reason why the courts give these people psychosis and mental disabilities and bad, poor mental health, they want to try and protect these asylum seekers because they'll do anything to protect foreigners and invaders, but nothing for their own Irish people. Unfortunately, that's where we are now in 2025. The Irish government will do anything to protect foreigners and crazy invaders and left-wing lunatics, people that want to carry out mass shootings and biological attacks. But when the Irish people want to be protected by given a home or given food, they're given nothing. I would also argue anyone that wants to carry out a biological weapon attack on the state is mentally deranged. Anyone that wants to create a mass shooting is mentally deranged. Let's not feign their responsibility and give them a less harsh sentence because they're crazy. Let's give them the full hardest sentence that we possibly can. Absolutely. So the guy wants to basically carry out a biological weapon attack, which is like anthrax. He wants to bring in Ebola into Ireland, supposedly foot and mouth disease. And also at the same time, he wants to do like a Columbine school shooting in the country. I mean, these are the kind of people that we're bringing into this country. I said it just yesterday. They have Al-Qaeda trained ISIS insurgents that are coming into Ireland that are trained by Al-Qaeda, trained by ISIS, Boko Haram. They're killing 100,000 Christians in Nigeria. We have Somalian terrorists, Al-Qaeda fraction by Al-Shabaab. They're killing thousands of Christians there. We have complete crazy crackpot people, radical, fundamental radicalists that want to kill the Irish public. And the Irish government, the tyrannical Irish government, are just letting them flood into the country. Open borders policy here. Good job, lads. So, of course, I called this. I said it a few days ago. We're going to have an active terrorist threat. There's not going to be any sort of stopping to this ever. And it says here, he's a risk to public safety. Of course, he should be absolutely deported or put in jail for 100 years. Because if he was to do a mass shooting, it would destroy the entire country. It would fracture the country. We already had a mass stabbing. I think it's like 4 or more people stabbed in Parnell Square in 2023. So November, I believe, where a man stabbed 3 kids, and I think he stabbed a healthcare worker, a social worker as well. So we already had a mass stabbing. We didn't have a mass shooting yet, but we have a mass stabbing. So now they're trying to just level up each time. And that's kind of how these attacks go. They get more and more violent as time goes on. You know, the person has to one-up the violent attack. That's how it goes, right? It says the asylum seeker was previously deported from the UK after being convicted of several terrorist offences, including threats to carry out mass murder and use biological weapons. So it says that the Dublin police detained him in custody over Garda fears as his risk to public safety. What the hell? How are they letting these people into our country? How are they letting these people into Ireland? So this guy came from the UK as an asylum seeker. Like, this guy probably killed people abroad. He's probably seen war. He's probably seen combat. Like, our own soldiers haven't really seen combat. And we have people that are flooding into this country that have seen combat for years and decades that want to take us out. How are we supposed to protect ourselves against that? That's crazy. Good job, Irish government. Keep flooding them in, Simon Harris and Micheál Martin. They're just like us. I know we keep hearing every single day in the news, all these people, they're just like me and you. They're just like me and you. But they're not the same culture as us, guys. They're not the same heritage. They don't have the same ideology. They don't have the same thinking process as us, right? So, disaster. That's a crazy story to pop up in the morning, Wednesday morning. Another amazing story to wake up to Wednesday morning. Published at 5:30 a.m. Hoping to go under the radar. That's how the mainstream media, the bullshit mainstream media, that's how they do it. They post these stories at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, 4 a.m. in the morning, so that the regular Irish people will just skip over these stories and they won't actually acknowledge them. Not County Gains though. I'll sniff out these damn terrorist stories like a flipping bloodhound. So the next news story that we have, Leah Varadkar went on Ryan Tubridy's new podcast called The Bookshelf Podcast. Two absolute dweebs, okay, that you wouldn't pick in a five-a-side football game. These guys are absolute nerds, guys. Revenge of the Nerds is what's taking place in 2025 Ireland. Basically, in this segment, Leo Varadkar says that if we wish to not have any immigration or slow down the rate of hundreds of thousands of people coming in, then it will destroy the economics of Ireland. Have you ever heard such bollocks in all your days, lads?
Here's a solution I kind of put to them sometimes is that we could actually operate Ireland without migration if we all do a 6-day week. So anybody who thinks migration is a bad thing and doesn't want a steady stream of migrants, they should all sign up for a 6-day week. We could assign people. You know, if you work in the health service, you just work longer hours. If you work maybe, I don't know, in education, you could volunteer to, drive a taxi once a week, or I don't know, work in a restaurant, fill the gap of the migrants that you don't like.
I can see you running for office again. I don't know if you get elected. Maybe you would, actually. That's the weird thing.
He kind of slipped in there, migrants that you don't like. Nobody says that they don't like migrants. That's not true. Half my family are flipping immigrants. Everyone that I know in Ireland is immigrants, right? It's nothing to do with that. What it is to do with is you're not taking care of the Irish people first. You have 15,000 homeless people, Irish people that are on the street dying. 5,000 of those are Irish kids that can't help that. So you have a disastrous of this country, and then you have idiots like this Leo Varadkar, who I think is the devil. He is Satan himself, comes on these podcasts laughing and joking, ha ha, ha 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 ha, oh yes, I'm a gay man, it's okay. He comes on laughing, saying this, he's like prancing around the place. He says, oh, if you don't like immigrants, then we'll just bring in a 6-day work week. I have no issue with that, first of all. I work 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I don't take a day off. Okay, so basically on one side, Leo Varadkar is calling us lazy. He's calling the Irish public indirectly lazy. He's inferring that we're all lazy. Secondly, there's lots of countries that have like very little immigration that already have a 4-day work week. So how do countries like these other Nordic countries, how do they get on just fine with a 4-day work week, 1 day less than we have, but they have zero immigration? How does that work? Can you answer me that, Leo Varadkar? I bet you can't. Completely, utterly ridiculous. Like, who's afraid of working hard? Nobody is afraid of working hard. Also, thirdly, do these guys not understand that Ireland operated as a country up until 2004, 2010, when there was zero immigration? Like, Ireland just worked just fine. There was no, like, what do you think we did for the last 10,000 years or however many years the country's been civilized with people? The country got on just fine. Like, we don't need hundreds of thousands of people, asylum seekers from Syria and Libya. We don't need that, guys. I don't want 10 million people coming from China. I don't want that. I don't think anybody else wants that. Why would you think that that's necessary to keep Ireland functioning as a state? I mean, these arguments that you're given, the psychological operation that the Irish public has to witness every single day is just disgusting. It's so disgusting. I'm trying to wake people up to this because a lot of people don't understand. Leo Varadkar, Ryan Tubridy, they're government shills. They're just bought and paid for. Say this. They're given a script in the morning. They're given a piece of paper in the morning. What to say. Here's to say. Here's how to berate the Irish public. And then the Irish public are like, why can't we get ahead? We're just a traditional Irish family, but we can't get ahead in the system. No, F you, you're pushed down, you're kicked to the side of the road. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. These are Marxist, communist, liberal freaks that want to destroy the country. They hate their lives. A lot of these people have terrible mental health. And when you have terrible mental health, you want other people to feel bad as well. My mental health has always been perfect. Never been bad, ever. And I want people to feel good always. I always uplift people. My entire channel, my Instagram, my personal training is to uplift people. That's when you have solid mental health. These people all have negative mental health. They want to put everybody down. They want you to make you feel like you're disgusting, like you're a piece of shit, like you're racist, you're a bigot. That's what they want you to feel like. Disgusting, traitorous bastards is what they are. Next story here we have is Keir Starmer that came out to say that if you incite racist violence and hatred, you are the enemy of the UK, okay? If you try and push back against this mass illegal immigration into the country, you are a traitor to the country. If you love your country, if you hold up a British flag, you are a traitor to the UK and Ireland. Just know that the same playbook in the UK as here in Ireland. It's disgusting. The only free countries really left are like the US and a few other places, you know. I think that literally people here in Ireland, we're cooked, guys. We're literally finished. Like the downfall of the country is upon us, and we haven't done anything to stop that. And it's over now, to be perfectly honest. I think it's over. I thought it was kind of good until I really delved into the deep depths of it, and we're cooked, guys. We're really cooked. Hopefully we can pull it back though in the next few years, but it's going to take a miracle to pull back from this bullshit.
Great Party is proud of our flags, yet if they're painted alongside graffiti telling a Chinese takeaway owner to go home, that's not pride, that's racism. And conference. If you say or imply that people cannot be English or British because of the colour of their skin, that mixed heritage families owe you an explanation, the people who've lived here for generations, raised their children here, built their lives here, working in our schools, our hospitals, running businesses, are our neighbours. If you say they should now be deported, then mark my words, we will fight you with everything we have, because you are the enemy of national renewal.
That guy's literally a traitor to the people of the UK. So it's nothing to do with race. Like if you say go home to the Chinese takeaway owner, that's not correct. You shouldn't do that. Nor should you say that you're not British if you're not 100% ethnically English. I said that before on my own channel. But at the same time, at what point does like the people that have been there for generations and your ancestors, at what point do you put them first before the illegal immigrants coming over? There's like people arriving yesterday that get more rights than the people that have been there for generations. The mother that can't pay her bills, and next door there's an illegal immigrant that are getting 5-star meals, 5-star hotel accommodation, gourmet meals, while the actual British guy that's been there for generations, no matter what, you know, they've been there for however long, they have a little bit of flipping UK British genetics in them, let's just say. At what point do you put them before this person that came here yesterday? It's just disgusting, guys. It's absolutely disgusting. The UK government is corrupt, tyrannical shithole. Absolutely insane. Let me know your thoughts on that. I love you guys all. If you want to support me, hit the join link underneath the video. Become a member today. For just €3 per month can help support me push back against the mainstream media. I think we have like 31 members now, so I greatly appreciate the love and support. I will see you all in the next one, guys. Peace.